Welcome back to the colony. The colony. What? This isn't the colony. We're on top of a mountain. A mountain. Actually, we're up here for one reason. That's to pick up some snow. The colony's down there, and it has grown quite a lot. So yeah, we're up here to do one of our final achievements was actually to get more snow. So I'm gonna put a little flag up here, because when you climb a mountain, you need a flag. So we're gonna pop that up here. Nice big red flag, because that's the level of technology we have in here. And let's get some snow. Let's get some snow. Is that enough? Wow, it's not a very thick layer of snow. Is that brick? Yeah, that's block underneath. Cool, and all we need to do is dump that into the style, and achievement get. It's always weird how you kind of have to go back so it can reload. Yeah, 3 achievements left, just 3 more. Well, it should do at least one of those today. And the other one, we are deep outside, we're in the red territory, you know, better dead than red. Let's see, what else have we got to do? We need to just have a quick look at science. Science is progressing along. Got a few more of these to do, but probably the bags are keeping me down at the moment. That's probably what's taking the large amount of time, is getting enough of these white bags, because they take quite a lot. But let's head back down to the colony. It's actually down here, and I haven't been all the way up in this area before. Like, there's actually different terrain. This here is not regular grass. This is actually grass tundra. Something different. And then we've got different trees all the way up here also, which I didn't realize we had. We're heading back down. You'll be able to get a glimpse of those walls. Let's head down here. This is actually a different tree. Let's pull in some of that. Oh, I don't like hover trees. I'm going to have to take that down. You know that's going to bug me, right? That's definitely going to bug me. I don't like... Yes, gone. Hover tree is gone. So what did we pull in there? Tiger trees. Rawr. Oh, wow. Oh, tiger logs are nice. Okay, well, let's keep on heading back down. What are we doing on the colony today? We're going to start heading back towards the colony. Oh, look, there it is through those trees, and it is huge. It is, I've finished border radius 5, and that basically plonks the walls out to about 170 by 170. That's a lot of space. I haven't even used half of that space. But today, we are going to be looking at the best guards, or we're going to be looking at all our different guards and evaluating how effective they actually are. And I got some numbers, but numbers are boring. But we'll go over those quick, and then we play around with how many guards does it take to defend my 500 colonist base. Right. Here's the hard part, getting back through all them bloomin' trees and talking to you at the same time. So we got slingers, bowmen, crossbowmen, and gunners, or matchlocks. So the slingers do 16 damage per second. They do 50 damage and reload every 3 seconds. So they all have that. Bowmen do 100 damage, and crossbows do 300, matchlocks do 500, but the matchlocks take 12 seconds to reload. So we've got the slingers, they 3-second reload, the bowmen with a 5-second reload, and crossbows with an 8-second reload. So what does that all mean? Like, we have a look at DPS, pure DPS. The slingers have 16 DPS, where the bowmen have 20, the crossbowmen have 37, which is almost double, and the matchlock have 41, which is definitely double. So we're back at the base. So this, between these two columns, we have 160 blocks, 159 blocks between the inner of this and this. And basically, the base is done. I'm only using this much space in here, and I've got all these guards protecting the trench. But I want to know which guards are the best. I got heaps of spare guys. I got bowmen here. The zombies come down the trench, and we basically kill them off. So what are we going to be looking at? Well, first of all, I thought we'd try out the slingers and we'd see what is the minimum spec of slingers, which means I'm going to fiddle with the economy just a little bit. I'm going to get rid of all the extra jobs. We've got a lot of extra jobs and miners. I'm not going to get rid of the food to test this out. I'm also going to build a yardstick. Now, what does that mean? For this to work, we need all the zombies to be killed in this space here, and preferably roughly in the same area here. So I'm going to set up a colored yardstick like this, although there's going to be 20 blocks long for each dude and for each color. And so the yellow zone is where I want most of the zombies to die. I did have a look at carpet, but I didn't have green carpet. And I thought carpet was a little too luxurious for the zomboys. So I thought we'll use wood. And so that'll go along here. And they're going to line up slingers, and we'll test out how many guys that takes. We'll line up bowmen, test how many that takes, and gunpowders and the crossbowmen. And you're like, well, but really, wouldn't that just be like, you know, matchlocks? Aren't they the best? They'll just one-shot everyone and that'll be it. Well, yes, but running in the background is all this here. All these guys here. Now, slingers only require sling bullets, which are pretty much just one block and a couple of miners. Bowmen require a little bit more. Crossbows and bowmen are pretty much the same in terms of supply chain, maybe a little bit further again. But matchlocks require quite a lot. They require a whole iron process. They require bullets, they require gunpowder, and they require pouches. So I'm going to fire off all the extra economy. All our dudes are coming out now. And we're going to gauge this based on how many guys we have left out of the 500. So let me just recruit 500 colonists. We'll get that achievement at the same time. So this is our sample set size is 500. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of colonists. Don't worry, we got the food, I think. 100 unemployed. There we go. And we get mower as an achievement. Mower. That was the other thing I wanted to do today for the achievement was mower. Yeah, okay, so we only got 2 of those left. And we'll finish those off. There's not too much of that to go. There we go. Cool. And these are all our guards here, and they will start shooting up here. So I'm going to get working on that. I'm going to do that. It's going to take me a little bit of time to set up. The zombies are coming down the trench, and we are going to set this up such you can see all the old build over there as well. So let's jump to slingers. Alrighty, well, here we are. Here we've got our yardstick set up into our colored zones, and pretty much most of the zombies are getting killed in the yellow zone, and I'm using 100% slingers to defend my base. How many slingers? Well, I've got 100 nighttime slingers killing them off. We've got a couple, oh gosh, there's a couple getting through. There's a main horde that comes, but most of them get taken out in this yellow zone. Gosh, you're making me worry. But yeah, 100. I've got 80 long, and then I've got this extra little buffet of guys here. I've found at this point of the game, I'm having to put in some daytime slingers. So I've got daytime slingers that live here. Oh dear, we've got a couple gone through. That hasn't been enough this time. I have tested this so many times you would not believe. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Where are they gonna go? Where are they gonna go? Oh no. Oh no. And they're heading back. Our daytime slingers are coming up. Maybe I'll put in a few more. Oh, that wasn't good. Okay. Well, let's revise that. Let's say 110. I've got them organized in blocks of 10, so that's what we're going to work out. We always want surplus to our requirement. The zombies are out. The zombies are out. They're coming towards the banner, and they're getting wiped out as they come towards the banner. So 110. Oh no! No! Some of them are dying. Come on, daytime slingers. Some of them are dying. There's always a couple of stragglers that sort of get Get through. Okay, we'll recruit a couple more. Just redo up a few more of those. Oh, I'll recruit a few more. Bring a few back. You have no idea how many of these guys I have lost. Okay, well, 110. We've had to add 10 more. That should hopefully balance it out. We might need to add some 10 more. So about 110, 120 maybe. And then I've got an extra 20 daytime slingers just for the few that get through. But, I mean, look at all these guys just standing around. 215 if you look on the top left-hand unemployed corner. Because most of our economy is free. They're not doing anything. We've got a couple of stone miners, and what we've mainly got now is workbench guys. Let's pop up and have a look. We've got all these workbench guys. That's pretty much it. I mean, most of this is now empty. I did keep a couple of just spare guys around just to do some of the research as such. And okay, we've got the bakers, and there's a few more guys upstairs. But yeah, 215, that's pretty much, that's 2/5 of my economy. Not quite half, but I think that's probably as good as it's going to get. I don't think with the bowmen, crossbowmen, and the matchlock pistols we're going to get more than that. I think probably the bowmen and the matchlocks are going to be the bowmen and the crossbow are going to be most efficient. I think the matchlocks are just going to require so much of our economy that we're going to have almost no unemployed, which might be a nice way to go. So that's we survived the night. We survived that first night. I did test that a whole bunch of times, so I don't know why they broke through that time. Maybe they keep growing. So let's switch to. I'll pull all these guys out, and we'll give the bowmen a go. Goodbye, guards. That might be the last time that you have to serve as slingers. And here come the bow boys, the bow guys, the bow guards, and yeah. So I've switched over the bowmen to the bowmen, and as you can tell, we are probably going to need fewer. How many fewer? Well, actually, we only need 90. You can kind of get a by with 80, but every now and then I get an extra surge, so we went with 90, much like with the slingers, of which we had 110. So that's a savings of 20 fewer guards. In fact, it's more than that, because there are our day guards, which have halved down to 10 from the 20 slingers. So what does that mean? Well, unemployment is still about the same, 216. In fact, it's more than that, because in these numbers I've kept the foresters working at the same time and a couple of stump splitters. So I'll adjust those numbers at the end so you can get a better idea of how the economy works. And things to change up here, well, I've halved the amount of workbenches. I don't need as many of those. I've also got these metal smithing tables in now. And of course we also need to make bronze ingots, and we also needed to add in miners to get basically enough bronze and tin. So all that adds up very, very quickly to take up any extra savings, those extra 20 guys, that I had from the slingers. They've all gone into extra economy. Now, the other interesting thing is I crunched the numbers. So 110 slingers would push out 1,888 damage per second over the whole group, assuming they're all shooting at once. And the bowmen, they work out about the same. They're 1,800 damage per second for basically whatever zombies spawn in to take on these guys. And our zombies should be trucking in around about now. Yep, okay, we're starting to arm up and take them out. There's a very big horde of them that comes in halfway through the night, and depending where I am, sort of depends how much they spawn, which is why I've got a few extra ones. Come on, guys! Come on. Here come the horde. Here come the horde. Now, I think we'll probably see a similar step down with the crossbowmen. It's going to require, obviously, fewer crossbowmen, but we're going to need more guys to actually make it all work. Here comes the bulk of the horde now. Come on, bulk of the horde. They should make it to the yellow zone. The yellow zone. Here they all come. Yeah, so, well, let's stack them all out and try and get a few more in here. Come on, guys. Come on. They're actually doing very well. One of the interesting things is the increased range makes an absolute huge difference. The bowmen have almost twice the range, where the matchlock will have 3 times the range. So I kind of expect shooting to happen a lot earlier, and that might play a difference. Probably the other thing I haven't done in this is built a complex maze. So you may be able to tighten up these numbers, definitely tighten up these numbers if you have a complex maze, but I wanted to keep things really simple for the purposes of this test. We might have a look at mazes and maze approaches in another video. Alrighty, so yeah, as you can see, they're pretty much making it to the yellow zone. They're not really getting past there. I've had a few break array mobs get through the red zone and actually loop around, which is why I went with 10 more bow guards. Right, let's get the crossbow guys in. And with that, another night has descended on the colony. But this time, we've got the crossbow guards out. And unsurprisingly, we've needed fewer of these guys, but not as few as I first thought. I got 60 crossbow guys out here, which is obviously a lot less than our 90 bow guys. However, when I look at the damage that these guys are doing more damage than previously. Than the slingers and the bows. See, the slingers and the bowmen were doing roughly 1800 damage per second. This one I struggled a little bit. Some nights I would survive with 50 crossbowmen, but I settled on 60, which actually have a damage output of 2250. So I'm guessing the slow reload time sort of means I need a few more guys just to get those extra shots off. We've got the standard stock 10 base defense, and if you have a look at the unemployment rate, we've got 256 unemployed, which is a huge jump of 40 on the other groups of people. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. You've got to make got rid of a bunch of crafting guys. Also had a couple of charcoal kilns still there, and we've already got all the wood guys and that, so I'll have to adjust the math at the end, so that gap will probably close a little bit for the slingers and the bows. We'll have a look at that at the end, which is quite surprising, because I thought it takes quite a bit to make a crossbow. I mean, it takes iron, and then you've got to smelt it into iron ingot, which requires charcoal, and then you've got to make iron, what are they, bolt things, and then you've got to make, they're these things here, iron rivets and wrought iron from the iron ingots to those, and then make the ammo, and that's quite a bit, and I thought, well, that's going to require quite a lot of economy. Not quite as much economy as I thought. It was a little bit left. Those are the kilns we started with, a couple more metal smiths just to get it up and going. We've got the bloomeries. I needed more kilns to make it actually work. I had to double the amount of kilns, and obviously I had to swap all the miners around, but I think overall I needed fewer miners. We won't be able to see them as such. I had all this filled out with copper and tin, but they've all gone, and now we've got iron, which is probably half the amount I had before. The other thing probably which leads to fewer guys is because ammo does more damage. The crossbow ammo does 300 damage, which is roughly a third of what we needed. I think we're going through less ammo than before, so there's probably that as well as probably a factor. So it'll be interesting to see if ammo, the one-shot damage of the matchlock guys will make any difference. So look, these guys aren't even getting there. I've got these backup guys here because occasionally, every now and then, we get an extra surge of guys. I'm not sure if that's mechanics or just where I stand, but yeah, there we go. Right, let's come back for our final bunch of guys for the quartet. Oh, so many guys. It's lagging out a little bit there. We'll come back for the final bunch of our quartet muskets, and I'll see if I can get that going. I'm still figuring that's going to take quite a lot to make work. So yeah, let's arm them up. Let's give them guns. The guns are out, and the one-shot party boys are here, and they are just basically pretty much one-shot everybody. So what do our numbers look like? Well, we've got a lot more unemployed as before. Not quite as many as, well, actually, no, the most. We have the most here. We have even more than the crossbow guys, despite each one of these little gun boys actually require 2 types of ammo. They require gun pouch and lead bullets, but we must have saved some economy somewhere else. Look at them go! So I've been running this overnight, and we've got 50 of them. The fewest guards so far, 50, which is unsurprising, really. And these 50 guards are throwing out just slightly over 2,000k worth of damage per second. So it's pretty much on par. I think 1,800 damage per second was the minimum we needed with our slingshots and our bows to keep them working as such. What's running in behind the scenes? So that's all pretty safe. I've still got 10 daytime guards. I could probably reduce that to 5. The one shot, the 500 damage is so much it just takes out one dude straight away. Let's jump down into the mines and have a quick looky down here. I've got nobody else except these guys. These are the only guys that you actually need. We've got a little bit of salt, pepper, and a little bit of lead for the bullets, for the bullet manufacture. And we're still actually ticking up to our 10k worth of bullets. But it'll get there eventually. It's slowly growing. I try and balance these so it's a slight growth, but not too much. All our linen pouches are actually done, so we could probably even take some of these out. There's a small amount of linen pouches, so we can actually maybe even cut these down for more guys, because I think 2 of them will be enough to stay on top. They're making some other bags. Yeah, so what's that? That's 167. That's even more. A couple of coke makers up here. Those guys don't do anything, but they've done nothing for the whole time. But here's where the magic happens, is pretty much lead, and they're waiting on some charcoal or some such. So it's not perfectly balanced, but it's pretty close. We are actually gaining resources. Let's head up here. Oh, that's the food level, and up here is where the bullets happen. So they're slowly making stuff. Gunpowder. I need more charcoal. That's probably what I'm running short on, but I'm still increasing in ammo, so it's not so much of a big deal, especially once these lead bullets completely fill up to the 10,000 mark. But this is what we ultimately need here, is the gun pouches. The gun pouches is what we're short on. So yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought the matchlock guys would use way more crafting, but once your economy is up and running, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Now I'm going to crunch the numbers. We're going to jump to a number crunching session just because I got a few adjustments, and I thought we'd carry on with our pretty graph. Where the heck are all? Oh, those are the guards. Those are the guards. They look a lot like those guys. Right, to the number review. Okay, it's time for the numbers. Now, what I wanted to see here was not just how the numbers stacked up in terms of guards that you needed, but also which gave you the freest amount of economy. In other words, which guards would allow you to have the most amount of guys doing other stuff. And my theory was somewhere that maybe bow or crossbows would be better than matchlocks, because matchlocks would just tie up so much economy making ammunition that it wouldn't make them economic. But what I actually found was that the matchlocks were actually quite efficient, way more than I had anticipated. But let's have a look at the numbers. I need to make a few adjustments on these. The slingers are actually understated in this. So I actually had 4 charcoal, 9 foresters, 4 flax, 4 linen, and 6 cutters running in the background. So let's add those back in. Which sort of gives the slingers a bit of a boost. Gives them a plus 27. The bowmen are overstated again. Charcoal, flax, and linen are not required for them, so that's sort of a plus 12. And the crossbows, well, I don't need flax and linen, so we'll give them a plus 8. Now, what we see here is the numbers. These are probably a little bit more accurate. Then again, this is only sort of a soft test, so, I mean, if you really worked at it, you could get much tighter numbers. And we're also not testing the maze. We're not testing how efficient the maze actually is. So what we see here is that the slingers sort of come up a lot far, where the bows are still quite low. And what it is with the slingers is you need a lot of guys to make a lot of ammo that brings it up, which sort of leaves the crossbows and matchlocks pretty much on par. Now, my matchlock test, the ammo is still ticking up. I never quite reached a 10k of ammo, so I probably could have boosted that a little bit more. So I think there's much for muchness in the crossbow and matchlock. The other thing I noticed during this test is every couple of nights I seem to get some sort of zombie surge, and I don't know if that's a game mechanic or whether or not it's just me moving around. So there may be some things, the base configuration and spawn radius may play into that. But I mean, the group DPS was interesting, is that once we moved to the slower guys of crossbows and matchlocks, the group DPS sort of went above the 2k mark. So we needed to do extra damage just because they're so slow at reloading. But I mean, bottom line is, crossbows, matchlocks, you're pretty much going to be pretty much fine. Bows seem to be somewhat noticeably less inefficient, so you probably want to get them out, and probably the slingers you probably do away with. So yeah, I'd probably just go for the crossbows and matchlocks. Why not go full tilt with the best guards? Anyway, that was my little experiment, and no doubt there's a little bit more that we could do on there. But let's finish out the session with the last bit of research, and I want to go over and show you the lab just quickly, and we'll finish with that. I probably could have trimmed those day guards just a little bit more. The end results weren't quite as exciting as I thought they would, but they're still very interesting nonetheless. Here we go. Right. Okay, guys, take us out. Finish the research. Boy, they are going to crank through with this. And if you notice, my economy has changed. I've only got 140 unemployed now. That's because I've specifically tweaked it just to finish off these guys. So I'm going to play around probably a bit more with the guards. Maybe in the next session, we're actually going to have a look at basically how mazes affect how many guards you need, and maybe run a similar kind of test again. The zombies will match up to 2,000 blocks apparently, so we could probably push up that distance and probably get down to a couple of guards at that rate. But I'm just curious to see how many that is. Come on, guys, let's finish off the achievement, and I'm just gonna leave it here. And I will catch you in the next session.